Please rise. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our troops, our police officers, and our first responders. Thank you. Okay, sunshine notice.
In compliance with the provisions of Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of New Jersey of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting was given by publishing a notice in December 2022 edition of the Trend. This notice was also placed on the borough website and sent to the Star Ledger, North Jersey Herald News, the Record, and posted on the municipal building bulletin board.
Thank you, Karen. Roll call, please.
Councilman Yago?
Here.
Councilman Harris is absent. Councilman Mabey?
Here.
Councilman Russo?
Here.
Councilman Charles?
Here.
Councilman Churro?
Here.
Okay, we'd like to start with Barbara Heskins from the Land Conservancy. And first, with a great big thank you for all your hard work for Kinnelon, and we look forward. I'm excited for everybody to see your presentation. It's really amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm Barbara Heskins Davis. I'm a licensed
Can you
planner.
just make sure that we're recording it, so make sure you talk into the mic and make sure you have the PowerPoint as well. Okay.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay.
Mary, is that better? Okay, good.
Speak a little so I can hear you.
All right. My name is Barbara Heskins. Okay, good. Barbara Heskins Davis with the Land Conservancy of New Jersey, and I'm a licensed planner. The Land Conservancy of New Jersey was hired by the Borough of Kinnelon to update your 2012 Open Space and Recreation Plan. And this is the second of two public meetings on the Open Space and Recreation Plan as required by Green Acres. The Borough of Kinnelon started its open space program early in 2000. We did your original open space plan in 2005. The state requires that the plans be updated every 10 years, similar to the municipal land use law. Kinnelon is located in the Highlands. 97% of the municipality is located in the Highlands Preservation Area. The Highlands Council does offer funding for planning grants to keep your plans up to date and consistent with the Highlands Master Plan. With the Land Conservancy's help, you did request a reimbursement grant for the full cost of doing the plan update, which the Highlands Council will grant. I've been coordinating with Charlie and Karen to make sure that the municipality applies for that funding and gets the reimbursement that it has been promised. So the Land Conservancy started the plan update about a year ago. We work with your Open Space Committee. I do want to recognize Tammy Resilius from the Open Space Committee, also chair of your Planning Board, who has been working on your open space program for pretty much her whole career with the Borough of Kinnelon. The Open Space Committee is an active committee. We attended several of their committee meetings. We held a tour with the municipality. Your professional staff went with us. Councilman Charles was there to take a look at the town, what your parks and open spaces are. This plan, we delivered a draft to the Open Space Committee. It was reviewed. We actually did several drafts with the Open Space Committee to make sure that it was accurate and current. We met with the planning board at the end of December where we presented the plan. They had questions, comments on it, and they did approve the plan and will be formally adopting it as an element of the master plan at their upcoming meeting in February. So why do you want to update your open space and recreation plan? It's a good question for a municipality like Kinnelon to ask. Kinnelon has an active open space program. You're located in the Highlands Preservation Area, so the ability of the town to develop its property, it can be challenging. And there's the perception that your land is already protected because of the regulations that are kind of put into place through the Highlands Regional Master Plan. But the Open Space and Recreation Plan allows you to have municipal priorities documented. I'm a big fan of having the municipality direct its own program. And in Kinnelon, because of where you're situated, you're kind of at the epicenter of 5 different watersheds. You're home to 28 threatened and endangered species. You're where everybody wants to see land protected. But you have your own areas of priority. You have your own needs, and having an open space and recreation plan kind of sets that right there on paper as to what it is that you've done, why you've done it, and where you want to go with it. And I think that's a pretty powerful message to be able to have. And your open space and recreation plan in that update, I think clearly tells that story for the municipality. And it goes over the benefits of open space, which you know it contributes to the quality of life. I'd like to think that the residents of Kinnelon are happy here. I'm happy here when I come to Kinnelon and I don't even live here. It improves air and water quality. It enhances your homeowner property value, and it really does do that in the borough. It encourages physical activity. I think the pandemic was a great example of how people really needed to get outside and to reconnect. And of course, as we start to really recognize and challenge the climate change crisis, having that forested landscape really does help to store carbon and combat the conflicting issues of climate change. So what are your goals? Your goals are consistent with your 2005 and 2012 plans. I'd say in 2023, what we really incorporated is what I consider the second generation use of open space, public access to your open space, and stewardship of your open space. One of the recommendations of the plan update is that town consider applying to the Highlands Council for a grant to look at lake management of your publicly owned or publicly accessible lakes. They do offer grant funding for that. Towns that have received it are Byram and West Milford. They're good examples. They're also almost entirely located within the preservation area. So there is plenty of grants for that. So kind of that concept of maintaining and utilizing your open space, I'd say would be front and center for the borough. And this is a timeline of what you've done in the borough in terms of your open space program. As I mentioned, you were one of the first in Morris County. 2002, you established your open space trust fund. In 2005, you increased it to a cent. It's now down at half a cent. I recommend keeping it at half a cent. It's working for the municipality. You use your open space trust fund not only for land acquisition, but for the development of your parks and recreation facilities. It's very difficult to find funding for the maintenance and development of your recreation facilities. If you have a dedicated fund, it allows you to get matching grants, and it doesn't overburden the taxpayers. And recreation facilities and recreation development and maintenance is important to the residents of Kinnelon. So I'd encourage you to continue your open space trust. And continuing it at that half cent can make sure that you're eligible for matching grants at the 50% level from Green Acres. So if the time comes that you do want to acquire property for a municipal purpose for open space, you're kind of right in there to get that 50% grant rather than a 25% grant. And that's a big deal. This year, the town did acquire the Boonton Avenue fields. This was owned by the town of Boonton. It was utilized by the township for parks and recreation, was not permanently protected. So at any time, the town of Boonton could have sold that off or used it for something else. And acquiring it was smart for the township. It really was. So acquiring that piece of property, you used your Green Acres funding, you used your municipal trust, you could use county funding. It was a good acquisition. The open space plan includes what I would consider a couple of really important sections. The goals, which I talked about. It has community meetings, which is just one of. Kinnelon has an active open space committee. We did meet with them. That was one of the meetings, and the planning board. The other thing that it has, what it does an inventory of what I consider both your open space trust fund and your preserved and public lands. And I'm going to tell you, in Kinnelon, it's not an easy thing to really document what's permanently protected and who owns it. There's a lot of different players in Kinnelon, and making sure that you have a really accurate data layer of what's preserved is good business for the municipality. Green Acres did review your plan. They were very complimentary of your open space plan update, and one of the things that they requested was the GIS data that went into the plan, which we'd be happy to give them, so that the state data matches the municipal data, which is what you want. So funding's important. If I were mayor, I would want to be able to say that for every dollar a resident brought in, I was able to bring in Y dollars. And you can say that in Kinnelon with really great confidence. Over the course of your program, you've received $5.7 million from the state of New Jersey for, from Morris County, for open space preservation. From New Jersey, you've received almost $3 million for land acquisition. From the Park Commission, $9 million for land acquisition. From the Morris County MUA, $750,000. And what have you spent? The levy has raised $2.4 million since 2002. So if you start to compare those dollars, the municipality has spent just over $2 million on land acquisition and park development. You've received, 15, $18 million in outside funding compared to the $2 million that you bring in. And that's a good thing. This, the plan goes through each of the projects and how it was funded and who the partners were from 2007 to 2022. So basically, your open space plan was done in 2005. We updated it this past year. The boroughs expended $1.88 million to preserve over 545 acres of land. And that's a really good investment. You've helped to protect land as part of Silas Conduit County Park, the Weber Tract. You have a pocket park now, Denise Drive, part of the Mount Side Preserve, your Kinnelon Emergency Shelter and Senior Community Center, and of course the recreational fields on Boonton Avenue. We have several graphics in the plan that try to depict your preserved lands and your inventory of land. And one of the things that I like to be able to say is that as of August, you have 3,994 acres of preserved land, 342 acres more than you had at the time of the 2012 update. And that wasn't all done by Kinnelon, some of it was done by the state of New Jersey, but that means that you've increased your land holdings by a good percentage in the 10 years. So the plan goes on to give recommendations about what it is that you should protect. And in their review of the plan by Green Acres, they kind of talked about this section of the plan. And your recommendations fall basically into 4 buckets. You want to protect your forested land, your critical watershed lands, your wildlife habitat lands, and trails and greenways. So if you look at the first 3 buckets, woodland protection, forests cover 60% of the municipality. You're a heavily treed municipality, and a lot of that is in public ownership. Your watershed lands, interestingly, the Morris County MUA finally did an open space plan, in 2021. I talked to them about it, I think in 2015, so I was glad that they did that. And that's important for the county. The Morris County MUA, their funding is earmarked to protect the drinking water for the residents of the county. So you want them to be able to be proactive in where they're looking to protect land. And they identified priority areas for watershed preservation within the borough. The borough is an important source of drinking water. And over the course of your open space program, the county has helped preserve 372 acres, just the county MUA, for watershed protection. So wildlife habitat, that 3rd bucket, we did your critical habitat conservation and management plan back in 2020. And as I mentioned, you're home to 28 threatened and endangered species. If you look at your critical wildlife habitat map, it's the whole municipality. Again, because you're kind of at this epicenter, and so much of the municipality is sensitive lands. So Green Acres, in looking at it, said, well, you can't protect the whole town, it doesn't provide any focus. But Kinnelon has what they call a greenways map. And I did your 2005 plan and your 2012 plan, and I really like Kinnelon because you're thoughtful and you care about what it is that you're putting together in your planning documentation. And you did your greenway map back in 2005. In 2012, you took a second look at it, and we refined the boundaries somewhat. Not every town I work with still utilizes a greenway map, but Kinnelon does. And in the 2022 update, the Open Space Committee and the Planning Board did endorse the greenway map again. And the greenway map identifies kind of these 5 priority areas for conservation. And again, it doesn't mean that Kinnelon's going to acquire them, but it does mean that you consider these areas important for future acquisition. And I think that's what the Green Acres really wanted to see and what will be clarified. So you have your lakes, your mountainside, the Waha Greenway, the Buck Mountain Greenway, and kind of that northern Kinnelon loop. Of the greenways, I would say that the Waha Greenway is important because of the Morris County Park Commission. Morris County Park Commission has been working with Trust for Public Land and the borough to protect sensitive lands within the Waha Mountain Greenway. So if those properties come up, I'm sure the council will be considering them as part of future acquisitions. The other one is the Buck Mountain Greenway with Lake Rickabear. So Lake Rickabear is a privately owned Girl Scout camp. It's a great facility, great camp. If at any point the Girl Scouts were interested in either donating an easement to the state or protecting their property in some way, I'm sure the borough would want to be part of those conversations. And having it identified in your open space and recreation plan gives you that flexibility. And again, that's what I really like about the open space plans, that I find them creative documents and flexible documents. They don't obligate the municipality, but they give you that roadmap so that over the next 10 years, you have the ability to apply for outside money to protect what you feel is important. And again, it goes into trails and what is proposed, and then it recommends that you submit it to Green Acres, which we did and got comments back on, so we're still working with them. We recommend that you construct the emergency shelter and look into future acquisitions and stewardship opportunities. And with that, I'm here to answer questions. I really do thank the borough for working with the Land Conservancy. It's really a pleasure to work with Kinnelon. Because this is a public meeting, I ask that after the council asks their questions, that it be open to the public to see if the public has any questions. And I thank you.
You just mentioned that you had a little bit of trouble towards the end with the counties, correct? Or not the county, the state.
Great.
Can you just explain that to the rest of the council who might not know about that, just to know you're
Right.
on top of it and everything looks great?
Yes, all good. Thank you. So this year I'll be hitting my 100th open space and recreation plan, which is a great thing. And never really got comments back from the state on our open space and recreation plan. So we submitted the adopted plan to Green Acres. They now have a planner at Green Acres. The position's been open for a number of years. He reviewed the plan against the guidelines that the state puts out, and there were 2 parts that he expressed some question about. One was the plan did not document public participation adequately, and he's right. So we did have a mention of it, but we didn't expand on it. So we'll include a section about public participation. And the second thing was that there was not clarity around what potential future acquisitions would be. And as I mentioned in the presentation, having the Greenway map as part of the plan will satisfy that question from the state. So there might be some slight rewording in that section of the document, but basically they really like the plan. They just wanted clarity on those 2 issues. So thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, and thank you. I mean, 100 of these is crazy. It's a great feat, so thank you. And I know ours looks amazing. I want, when it's all done and approved, I'd love to give it out to the realtors in town and let them look at it and use it as selling tools. And, you know, very professional, so thank you. I don't know if you guys have questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Thank you.
You know, oftentimes we get a suggestion either from maybe the council members or from the public about the use of a certain parcel. And usually the answer is no, you can't do that. Does the plan indicate what types of recreation specific parcels can be used for?
That's a good point. The plan, what I'd say the plan, I'm very confident what the plan does, is that it provides a really good inventory of what the different parklands are, who owns them, and what their intended uses are. So I would say that it doesn't go into a lot of depth as to what's allowed or not allowed, because that's a variable, that's a point in time. But if there's a question about a piece of property, I'm confident that it's in the plan, and the person would be able to be directed as to who to talk to get clarity on the actual use.
Who's the final arbiter? Who gets?
The owner. So, and in Kinnelon, that can be challenging, because you have state and county with joint ownership on some parcels.
Right.
So we did mention that in the report. The county is the manager on most of the properties. So if there's, like the borough property, it's never questioned about what's allowed or not allowed. It's everybody else's land.
I don't know.
All right?
I think that that's kind of the point, right? We say, you know, Kinnelon owns these parcels and we'd like to do such and such, and we're often told, no, you can't do it.
Often told by,
Well, I don't know.
oh, okay.
The
So
Highlands or somebody.
So the Highlands, I would guess the Highlands wouldn't be the entity that would say no. I would say the entity that would say no would be the DEP.
Okay.
Because you've accepted funding from the state for municipal acquisitions, there are rules associated with that. And actually, if there's any question about how you feel your lands are what you're being told by the state of New Jersey, the state is now reviewing their rules, and they're having a series of public meetings during January and February, specifically for municipalities and the public to comment on those rules. And it's called stewardship, about how the lands are managed and what you can do and what you can't do. So questions that are coming up are in the urban areas. Well, I'm picking that out. Let's take that part out. What if you want to put in water infrastructure? You need to put in a new well, and the only location is partly on your parkland. Right now, that's a diversion. So there are municipalities that are appealing to the state to allow for public water to be on parkland. Another issue that's coming up is hunting, no hunting on parklands. Forestry, no forestry, forest management. So now's the time to make those comments, and I can forward it to Charlie when those hearings are, and he can send that to you to review.
Because I know when we acquired the shelter, the
10 acre.
Yeah, 10-acre community shelter property. You know, part of that was woodland, had to remain woodland, which was fine, we agreed with that. But we were told that you couldn't even blaze a trail, you couldn't even mark a trail where people could walk, which it just seemed silly.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that answer.
You agree.
I mean, the one piece of property that comes to my mind is on the corner of Basin Lakes Road and Kinnelon Road. There's a big parcel there that's supposedly swamp, but there is some part, according to Glenn Cisco, you know, who knew the town, said there is a piece in the middle there where a house can go on it, but in order to get to it, you have to enter it through a state-owned piece that's at the end of Decker and Irma, and he says they wouldn't allow anybody to drive.
Well, that was a Kinnelon piece that we acquired through Green Acres.
It's
And
impervious surface.
we couldn't put an easement for the people, the property owners
To
to
get
put
to
a
that
house
lot.
there. Yeah, it didn't, again, it didn't make sense.
Or even if something that Kinnelon would want to buy is maybe a community garden or something else, there's still no way to get to it because that one piece is blocking the entrance.
So, okay, I'm gonna push back a little bit, sorry.
Okay, no, you can't. That's
okay.
why we hire you.
So, correct, if you wanted to have a private use of that land and you wanted to give an easement for that private use, you couldn't do that through parkland. But if you wanted to have a community garden, you could put in access to that community garden through that land.
Okay, that's good. to know.
So, probably because of where you're located, the way that that's constructed would probably have to be some kind of pervious material, so you're not increasing the amount of, impervious
It
surface.
ties in with the garden kind of, you know. so
Right.
it'd be perfect.
Yeah, I
That's what
spend a
they
lot
said.
of time trying to find a garden
And that's what they
spot.
came back and said to us, is they don't want a pervy, they don't want a hard surface there.
Right.
Because it's all wetlands.
Right, so the technology has really changed. The Musconetcong Watershed Association put in a pervious paver type of system that passed the DEP. So, if you want to take a ride down to Asbury, you can take a look at that. But, it's worth at least asking again as time marches on.
Yeah. It's a nice piece of property for something like that. All right, no more
Yeah, I'd
questions?
just like to thank you for all your work. I was on the planning board for many, many years, and I saw how you and Tammy worked together for all those years and everything that you did together to serve the land in the town. And I just wanted to regretfully tell you that the mayor did not reappoint Tammy to the planning board after 27 years. So I'm not sure who you'll be working with in the future, but I watched you guys working for years and years, and I gotta tell you, you did a fantastic job, and it's really appreciated.
I think you, good volunteers here.
Barbara, thank you.
Okay, so we'll open it to the public. Does anybody from the public like to come up and comment? Okay, hearing none?
Real quick, Mayor?
Sure.
Karen, we'll be able to post this report, right, on the borough website for everybody to look at? Please, if you get a chance, when it gets up there and it's posted, it's a fabulous document. It's gonna knock your socks off, the work that's gone into this. Everybody should really take the time to look at it. Not many towns can boast, 4,000 acres of preserved land with 3 reservoirs and 19 dams. It's pretty unique what we've achieved here. Unfortunately, there's been a major change now, but hopefully we can continue this moving forward, because not many towns can boast what we've accomplished here. It's really quite a testament. And again, Barbara, thank you. Thank you to everybody, to Linda Kaczynski, to Tammy, to Ed. It's been a tremendous partnership.
Thank you again. Okay, we're going to move on with the treasurer's report for January 19th. Karen?
The treasurer's report indicates that we started out with cash on hand as December 1st, 2022 in the amount of $13,649,498.19. Receipts for the month of December totaled $682,944.70, with disbursements amounting to $6,058,184.76. The new balance on hand is December 31st, 2022 was $8,274,258.13.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving
Let the
forward.
record show that Eric,
Oh, yes,
Councilman.
Councilman Harris is in the house. Welcome.
Mayor, if I may, I'd just like to apologize for everyone present for my tardiness. It was a miscommunication with myself and my agenda where I didn't read the new time. We were
Yes, we
doing 7 o'clock, so I was preparing for an 8 o'clock sign.
No worries. No worries. It happens. Okay, real quick, I wanted to thank Linda Glasinski as well for, we're 30 days away from our New Jersey Highlands approval for a piece of property over by Shirley Terrace for being expired, and she's reached out to the NJDEP on our behalf. She got in touch with Chris Squazzo, who's our rep, and she left him a message. Unfortunately, he's not in his office, but we have everything in place. We gave her some information today about the appointment, not the appointments we made, but the movements that we're having towards that piece of property. So I think Mr. Squazzo will be happy, and we'll continue to have the Highlands approval for that piece of property. Next month, I invited the Kinlaw football team here for our young guys that are coming here for the Super Bowl. A lot of basketball stuff going on, but next month they're free. We're going to start moving forward with planning for K-Fest for next year, which will be in October. The carnival, which seems to be very difficult to book a carnival these days, but I'm getting closer and closer. And then our town picnic at Lake Rickabear, that'll also be in force for next year. I also was able to set up a meeting with our new superintendent of schools and a resident in town, Stephen Liebeseitz, to talk a little bit more about the cell phone problems and just cell problems as a whole down by Keel Avenue and Ricker Road. So they are meeting and talking about different situations and solutions to help where you're able to have cell coverage in all our schools, which I think is important, especially in this day and age with any type of situations in the schools. Besides that, I have on my agenda to have a discussion about the borough attorney again. I know it's 30 days for a recommendation for someone on the council now to make a recommendation for an attorney, and then it can come up to a vote again. So I didn't know if you guys want to discuss that before any type of recommendation for attorney.
Well, I guess I'll go first. Let me preface my remarks by saying this is not about Mr. Giblin personally. I don't know Mr. Giblin, and that is the point. We had an attorney, which was the Buzak Law Group, for over 40 years. And in my estimation, and the estimation of two of my colleagues, they gave excellent service. The mayor disagreed with that, and that's his prerogative. But the mayor apparently got together with Councilman Maybe and Councilman Harris and Turtle when they weren't even councilmen, and decided that they were going to change the attorney. And Councilman Charles, Councilman Yago, and myself were not informed of that. So at the reorg meeting, we were presented with a list of appointments, and the Giblin firm, and again, I apologize, I don't even know Mr. Giblin's first name. It's that. So, was on this list. We were never given any information about him, about his firm, what his qualifications were, or even how much they were going to charge us for his services. And we were expected at that point to vote to approve this appointment. The councilman I mentioned, Charles Yago, and myself, we didn't agree with not reappointing Buzak, but we said, fine, the mayor doesn't want to appoint Buzak, that's great. If we want to appoint another attorney, let's go out for an RFP. Now, for members of the audience and those who might be watching at home who don't have the familiarity with those terms and processes, let me just explain what normally happens. So a municipality wants to hire a professional, an attorney, a planner, an engineer, even a cleaning service. They put out a request for a proposal, RFP, and it states the needs of the municipality. And the RFP then is circulated through the professional community that we're trying to recruit. It's advertised in newspapers, it's submitted to the New Jersey League of Municipalities, and the interested professionals who are in that pool of professionals will then respond, and they will provide their qualifications, their experience. They'll indicate to us how they think that they can benefit the borough, and they will obviously tell us how much they're going to charge for their services. The municipality then evaluates those proposals and chooses the best professional to fill their requirements. Now, the requirements, depending on what the the municipality needs could be varied. One could be, we want the cheapest guy out there. That's one way of looking at it. We want someone who's got expertise in a certain area. Maybe it's with the Highlands, maybe it's with land use, maybe it's with affordable housing, whatever the case may be. So depending on what the municipality needs, they then look at the responses to the RFP and chooses the best person they feel will fulfill their needs. So that didn't happen. We proposed that as an alternative, and the mayor and Councilman Turdo, Councilman Maybe, and Councilman Harris rejected that. So since we didn't appoint our longstanding attorney, we refused to issue an RFP. The question I have is, what is so unique about the Giblin firm? What extraordinary value that they bring that we refuse to consider any other attorney in the whole state of New Jersey? I don't know. I brought that question up at the previous meeting and didn't get an answer to it.
Councilman, respectfully, it just seems like you have such a personal vendetta against Mr. Giblin, and...
I don't know Mr. Giblin,
Well,
Councilman.
you've had plenty of time to educate yourself to it, and you chose not to.
I have
In my 2 years, how many RFPs or RFQs have we gone out for?
I've done them before. We did them for our CFO, and I'll tell you how it works.
In the last 3 years, I know how it works.
Okay, well, we haven't
But-
done an RFP.
Exactly.
So, you're saying I have some kind of animosity towards Mr. Giblin? I don't know Mr. Giblin. I don't know who he is. I've never met him. I have gotten nothing. And you're saying I have to go out and try and find out information about him? When a professional is proposed, don't we get a packet that says, here's this firm, this is what they can do for us, this is the qualifications, this is how much it's gonna get charged? Don't we get that? And then we discuss it as a body here? We've got none of that. And you think that that's the way to do it?
Can I add something, Vince?
Please.
While you're on this.
I'm not finished,
So,
by the way.
when we do RFPs in the past, it's not done in a week. We don't get the information a week before. What we do is we go out, we ask our professionals, if we're doing a lawyer, we go to our engineer, we go to all the professionals in the town, and we'd say, you work with lawyers throughout the different municipalities in the town, in the surrounding area, and who do you recommend? We also go to the League of Municipalities, we put an ad in there, all these professionals belong to the League of Municipalities, and then we get all the different resumes in, and we go through the resumes, see who we think is most qualified for the town, and then what we do is we interview. So then we pick the top candidates, we interview the top candidates, and then we decide. We got a name a little over a week before the meeting. There was an RFP that was given to our clerk. We were never made aware of it. And it's my understanding that I was the only one who actually even requested a copy of the RFP. Did you, Mr. Harris, did you request a copy of the RFP from Karen?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Mr. Maybe, did you request one?
No, I did not.
No. Mr. Trudeau, did you request one?
I do not request.
No, okay. So nobody even bothered to look at the RFP to see what the qualifications are. And I think the reason they didn't do that is because they had made up their mind already. Mr. Harris, you met the attorney?
No, I'm saying you didn't ask the other two gentlemen on council if they had requested.
They didn't know. They didn't know about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Nobody knew about it.
For the record,
For the record, the mayor had it out 5 days prior too.
for the record, I did not know there was even an RFP out there to look at.
Same.
Mr. Harris, did you meet the attorney?
I have met Brian.
And where did you meet him?
I met him in town.
In town, somewhere?
I think that's
That's it?
sufficient.
Hmm?
That's a sufficient answer, sir.
Okay, and has anybody else, I think, Sean, you said you met him?
I met him, yes.
Okay, and Anthony, you met him?
Don't believe in municipalities.
You didn't work with him years ago in Elmwood Park?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Brian's work, which is why I'm recommending it.
Okay, so I find it odd that you were on the council, he was the borough attorney, and when you were asked last week if you knew him and what you knew about him, you just said that you had done research on him. Is there a reason why you didn't want to say that you've worked with him for years?
Because I knew you wouldn't have acknowledged that as a credible source of knowledge
No,
on why I
because
think he's a
You just
candidate.
didn't want to tell us. That's
No,
what it was.
because why would I
Okay.
engage, to say that I've worked with this attorney and I think he's an excellent attorney and has done excellent work in many municipalities,
Then why wouldn't you say
only
that?
for you to say, well, so what are you trying to point?
No, I'm just saying that you could have told us that you didn't work with him.
I
And-
gave
and,
you my
know,
answers. I gave you my answer. He's
Okay.
an
That's
amazing
fine.
attorney, and he
Okay.
will do an amazing job in the borough of Kennewawn.
And the funny thing is, on his RFP, it doesn't mention that he was the borough attorney for Elmwood Park the 2 years that you were on there. Was that somehow forgotten on here?
As I told you, I did not see it. So I
Yeah,
don't
know you
know
didn't see it.
what's on there, and
And you-
I don't know
you
what you're
didn't
trying, I
even
don't know
tell
what,
us.
I don't know what you're trying to get at, Councilman.
I think you need to be transparent. If you know the guy, you tell us that you know him, had you worked with him in the past? To say, oh, I didn't want to say it because you were going to give me
I
a hard
did not,
time?
I answered the question.
Yeah, okay.
I answered the question, and I'll answer it again. He's an amazing attorney and will do an amazing job for this borough.
And do you feel that, to use your words, that he's so amazing that we wouldn't consider any other attorney in all of New Jersey?
Councilman, that's not my decision. It's a mayor's appointment decision. The mayor had put the appointment on, and we will vote on his appointment. And now we will vote on it a
So-
different way.
So you agree that this process was perfectly accepted, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not, I am not questioning Mr. Giblin at all. I am questioning this process. I am saying that the way this was gone about is not the way we should be doing things. And, you know, you and Councilman Mabey and Councilman Harris have been the advocates all about transparency, and you know this.
Councilman.
Let me finish,
Okay, okay,
let me finish.
okay.
And I suspect that after tonight's meeting, there probably won't be a Facebook posting about how we're not transparent and we're not saying the things we're doing up front, we're not informing the public, as was frequently in the past. So I suspect that you people aren't going to complain about transparency in this instance.
That's only because the numbers have changed.
No,
Pardon me?
Councilman, can I finish your comment? Can I finish your
Yes,
comment?
please do.
This is a process of what happens. The mayor makes the appointment. The mayor made it perfectly clear, leading up to an election, leading up to a changing of councilmen, that he wanted input. And the input was poo-pooed and said, I will not give my input, I will not collaborate on the appointments. So the mayor did what he felt was right as his position as the mayor.
I
To
never
make
said
an
I wouldn't
appointment,
collaborate with the-
to make an appointment, and we will vote. That's the process. This happens in many towns. There's a transition. I've worked with many attorneys in the borough of Elmwood Park. It's because the mayor makes the appointment and you vote on it. It's how it works.
May I also
That's how it
interject,
Yes.
Councilman, that this particular attorney is known to this town because he has worked as a labor attorney, I believe, if you'll correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor. He has worked for this town as a labor attorney. He is well known to the town, and the quality of his work is well known to
When
this
you,
town.
when you
So
say
this
well
is
known
not,
to the town,
this is not a new,
when you say well known to the town, well known to whom?
Kinlaw, Borough of Kinlaw.
Kinlaw is 10,000 people.
Well, to me, I worked with him when he was, the last time Kinlaw went out for an RFP was for him. And that was back when we changed attorneys last time with Mark Medeo, and Brian was our labor attorney. He did an excellent job for that period of time. And then we had a change of council, change of mayor, and that was changed.
Well, when Councilman Harris says that he is known to Kinlaw,
He is known to the mayor, that's his appointment. And I
Mayor,
went through this last time, and I
I know.
don't want to get into this again, because it's making us all look really bad.
Well,
I disagree, this is a very healthy
I
discussion.
asked you guys at a workshop, which was recorded, I said, do you want to talk to the new council coming in place about new appointments? And you guys said, quote unquote, ugh, we're not meeting with them. So I moved forward with my appointments.
The new council members don't make the appointments, you make the appointments, and Vince and I sat with you, and we
And I
talked about
tried to do it as a
appointments, and we
group,
talked about
and
our
you wouldn't
concerns, excuse me, and we talked about our concerns with changing an attorney for somebody we didn't know, we talked about our concerns about taking Tammy off the planning board after 27 years, and we talked about a lot of things, but you're the one who makes the appointments. There's no reason for us to talk to the new councilmen about appointments, because it's not their choice. As Councilman Chertoff was just saying before, it's
As it
solely
turned
their
out,
choice.
Councilman, it is our choice because we're the ones that are voting on it.
Yeah,
So
but
it would be good,
you met with him
it would have
before you
been
became
good to
council.
have input prior to sitting on the council. We actually asked you, council, prior to that, if we could participate, if we could be brought up to speed prior to sitting on council so that we could add value from the moment we were put on the council.
And when you were asked at the reorg meeting what you knew about the new attorney, I'll quote what you said, "I don't have any information about the firm."
That is correct. I only know the attorney himself. I've only met the attorney himself.
That doesn't make me qualified. And I have nothing against the attorney, I don't
I
want to.
I am not going to gainsay
disparage
the
the
mayor's decision. I have no authority to gainsay the mayor's decision as anyone else on this council.
All right, well, I'll just conclude my remarks by saying that I think that this process is ridiculous. I think it's not transparent, as my esteemed colleagues like to say. And I would just ask Mr. Giblin, I don't expect an answer, it's a rhetorical question. If, as we move forward, if he will advise us to use this same process when we hire other professionals. Thank you, Mayor, that's my comments.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a recommendation, since we really didn't go out for RFPs, since we seem to have said we went out and got RFPs, but really didn't follow the process, the standard process for it. I'd like to go out for RFPs now and postpone any vote on the attorney and get RFPs from all the professionals in the area and hire the one that's best suited for Kinnelon. And it might be Giblin, and I'm not even saying that it's not going to be him, but at least go through the process the way the process was designed to work.
So let me ask you a question. How would you make that decision on what is the best attorney for Kinnelon?
Through interviews, through resumes, through history with the area, through
Experience with the
litigation that
Highlands.
they've done. There's lots and lots of different ways to qualify somebody.
If I may, Mayor, it would be nice if we did go out to an RFP so we could interview the candidates. It would be nice because apparently the two new council members met with Mr. Giblin before they were sworn in. That's a problem. There's no transparency. I got a problem with that. No bid one, no RFP went out. Wasn't posted, we didn't get to meet anybody. That's just healthy, that's the process. And the real kicker in this right now is we're in the midst of the Highlands. And the Highlands is going to be here forever. And it's tough to deal with. That experience is incredible, we have to have it. And particularly with high-density housing and COA. But we need an attorney who's had extreme involvement on the state level on both the Highlands and affordable housing, particularly in the Highlands areas, high-density housing. Because you made it clear you want apartments in town.
There you go.
Well, that's right. Here we go again. Let the cats out of the
I never
bag.
said I want apartments in town. You
You
keep
said it
putting
last
words in
week
my
at the
mouth.
meeting.
We all sat in a meeting myself, Councilman Charles, Councilman Yago, we all sat in a meeting with a gentleman from town that wanted apartments back where Stop and Shop was, and we all said, oh my gosh, no way, and we all walked away from that meeting. How is it that I want that? We sat in that meeting, we all said no.
Mayor, you said at the reorg meeting that Tammy was not being reappointed because you didn't see eye to eye with her and that you wanted the apartments.
I did not.
You said that if
not
anybody
the
wants to take
apartments, not the apartments that you guys keep pushing 500 apartments and all. I said the 55 and over community to help us with ratables and no kids in the school system. That's the apartments I'm interested in,
We'll see
not
if
the
we get
ones
that.
down at Stop and Shop, no other apartments, 55 and over, no kids in the school system.
How to kill on Ridge
That's
work
what I'm
out.
interested in. Well, it was zoned improper, that's another
No,
whole thing.
that's-
Anyhow,
The law has
all right, so we're
changed.
gonna move forward. I need a motion from someone on the council. Do we want to replace this attorney? Do we want to move forward? I need a motion from.
I have-
Mayor, I'll make a motion to move
I had asked
Brian
Jim.
Giblin as our attorney.
I had asked before this.
You asked, but you didn't make a motion. There's a motion on the floor. We have to entertain it.
Wait, I had
I just
asked
made a
before
motion.
that,
I second
that
it.
we get RFPs and we start over again.
And the way the RP works, it's the mayor's appointment. If the mayor does not want to be, if he has an appointee, he doesn't need to go out for RFPs.
So he doesn't want to see if there's anybody better qualified. Okay.
Correct.
okay.
I think he's better qualified. I've worked with him in Kinnelon, on Kinnelon business. He was appointed by a Kinnelon council, and he's did a great job when he was here. And Ed Buzak was also replaced for that period of time as our attorney, and we survived.
And I just want to say that to give us 9 days notice when you're changing an attorney with no information, not letting us know that there was even an RFP, is just not enough time for us to do our due diligence. So I think this is being rushed. I'm not sure why, but this is being rushed through, and I just disagree with it. But let's go with the vote.
There's a motion and a second on the floor.
Okay, I need a motion for, you guys need to make an appointment. I need a name.
I'll make a motion for Brian Giblin to be the borough attorney.
Do I have a
Second
second?
that motion.
Or Anthony seconded the first time, so we're sticking with Anthony. I need a roll call.
Councilman Yago,
No.
Councilman Chertoff,
Yes.
Councilman Maybe,
Yes.
Councilman Russo,
Nope.
Councilman Charles,
No, this is malfeasance.
Councilman Harris.
Yes.
It's a tie vote.
The tie goes to myself. I vote yes. Brian Gilman's our new borough attorney.
So help me God. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gilman, welcome. Welcome to Kinnelon. I know you're going to do an excellent job for us, and best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll move on to council committee reports, finance, public safety, Councilman Churdo.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Giblin. Welcome to the team. It's been a busy 15 days as a councilman for the borough of Kinnelon. The Finance Committee has had a great kickstart. We had our first meeting with Charlie, our CFO, outlined budget timelines, kind of brought us all up to speed, and we discussed some of the items that are going to be a challenge up ahead. Finance Department has closed out the 2022 year. This way we can start preparing the 2023 budget. We'll be meeting with department heads to talk about operational needs and where to best allocate funds. We've also been reviewing, we'll be reviewing capital purchases. This way we can develop a good long-term capital plan for the borough. I had a great opportunity to meet a lot of the borough staff this week. I also attended my first Kinnelon Volunteer Fire Company meeting. Everybody was very friendly and inviting. It was great to hear that that we received a $28,000 grant to the borough with the collaboration of the leadership of the volunteer fire company and our CFO. These funds will go to purchase needed gear and SCBA bottles, which otherwise would have come out of some sort of an operating fund or some of the tax dollars. So it's a great opportunity to get that grant. Also, in line with the volunteer fire company, there's a large grant opportunity coming up, and working with the fire company leadership and the finance committee, we've kind of worked together and partnered with a company called Millennium Strategies to work to put together a grant, a FEMA Firefighters Assistant Grant. This grant, the goal will be that it will go to fund the 35 packs and 62 bottles that are about 22 years old. If all goes well with this partnership with Millennium Strategies, and we do get this grant, it'd be somewhere around $400,000 to fund the cost of this. I'm really enjoying kind of working with the finance group and the fire department. I talked to Chief Joe Napolitano, talk about energy. Joe has the chief has a great amount of energy, and there's a huge passion behind him and his department. And I'm excited to learn more about the inner workings of the police department. Also spoke with Hazel Whitty of the Triborough First Aid Squad. They're going to be holding their annual swearing-in dinner. This will be the first dinner that they're going to have in the last 2 years due to COVID. So it's great that they're going to be able to gather and swear in their new officers. So I congratulate them and thank them for their service. If you are interested in joining, they do meet every, I believe, second Tuesday of the month. And lastly, in my short time so far, 15 days, I've come to see one forefront of an issue, and it's not really an issue. It's a positive. Everybody is so positive and energetic. When I came and I met the staff, it's just so evident of the love that everybody has for this community. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, move on to ordinance, library coordinating. Councilman Russo.
That's me. Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance, tonight we are going to introduce two ordinances. One, to amend our recreation fees. The Recreation Director, Melody Sheckers, has requested that these fees be raised. We have a range of fees that is in our ordinance, and it gives her the flexibility as the need arises to change the recreation fees accordingly. The second ordinance is the Borough Fire Official Code. There was all sorts of obsolete language in there about fire committees and this and that, and because we have a shared service with Bloomingdale for our fire official, we just had to change some of the language in there to accommodate that arrangement. So we'll be introducing those tonight. In progress, we have discussion about allowing billboards in the commercial zone on Route 23. We also have, I was going to introduce an ordinance on disturbing the peace in the last council session last year. In November, the mayor asked me to withhold that. That would allow the police to take action if there's excessive noises, disturbances, etc. We need to decide if we're going to move forward with that. Mayor, I forwarded you an email that I got from a resident concerning that, and they were asking me if we were going to be moving forward on that, and I think a decision needs to be made whether that is going to happen or if I should just tell this resident it's not going to happen. So the membership can decide if they want to move forward on that. We have a template ordinance from the state of New Jersey which deals with the installation of equipment for charging stations for electric vehicles. It's a model ordinance, and the difficulty that we're having around this one, we have the ordinance already drafted, is that throughout our whole code, we need to make some changes about the code enforcement official and the zoning officer. There's a distinction between the two that needs to be made. Those terms are kind of used haphazardly and interchangeably, and that is a huge project, which I guess we will talk to Mr. Giblin about. That is it on the ordinance side. Coordinating the Board of Health met, we have circulated for their review an ordinance amending the dog ordinance that we have in the borough. Most of that has to deal with updating the state requirements which deal with rabies inoculations and the requirements around health and safety when it comes to animals such as dogs. So that's in the process. The Board of Health folks are looking at that. We will be then looking to introduce that later in this year. There was a discussion on raising the septic permit fees, and the Board of Health is going to do a survey to see what the other municipalities around us are charging so that we can be kind of in alignment with those municipalities. And also, our health officer fortunately reported that there was really no health issues here in Kinnelon. So that was good news. The Board of Adjustment, there were no new applications for variances at the last meeting, and I like to think that some of that was because of the ordinance that we passed that relaxed the requirements for minor projects such as sheds and fences and things like that. The objective of that ordinance was to reduce the time, effort, and money to the residents in order to accomplish these small projects without having to go before the Board of Adjustment, and I hope that that is no applications is the result of some of that. There was an applicant down by the old movie theater in the Meadtown Shopping Center. Last year we had an applicant who was, I have it right here, Madison Concepts, and they were the doggy daycare center people. They wanted to put a doggy daycare center in there, and they had to go before the Board of Adjustment because it was not a permitted use. So they had to go before the board, explain what they were going to do, and get a variance for that use. And they were granted that variance. However, they never moved on it, and the variance does expire. And so their variance expired, and another company came and said, hey, we'd like to use that property, and they needed a variance. They were going to put a dialysis treatment center in there, and so they were granted a variance. Now, we're happy that anybody wants to use that property. I mean, I think that it's been sitting there vacant for so long that it was great that there was this much interest. So the contention now is that the DaVita Kidney Care Company has the current variance. They haven't acted on it, but that will expire next month. And Madison Concepts has now come back to the Board of Adjustment, and they said, well, we want to put the doggy daycare center in. And they said, well, your variance expired. These new folks have their variance. It may expire, and if it does, then everybody's welcome to apply for a variance to put their business in there. So that is a work in progress. It remains to be seen what happens. But hopefully we'll get a nice commercial establishment
Maybe two.
put in there. Well, no, we can't do, we cut in, you know, or maybe the dogs will go on dialysis or something, I don't know.
Doggy dialysis.
So that was it on the Board of Adjustment. The library, the CLL, Center for Lifelong Learning brochures have gone out to all the residents in the borough, and it is really encouraging to see they are celebrating their 30th year of CLL. 30 years have been providing education to all levels of residents, whether they're seniors, children, mid-level people, for 30 years, all done by volunteers. And I really want to take this opportunity to especially acknowledge Ron Leavesley. Ron was one of the founders of CLL. Unfortunately, in the last year, he had to step down because of health issues, and couldn't continue in that capacity. But Ron deserves a lot of credit in making that such a successful program, and now it's carried forward by the library and other volunteers. So if you've received your brochure in the mail and you see some classes you'd like to sign up for, please do. If you need a brochure, they're available at the library. And the class is going to be running from February 27th through May 5th. And they're always very, very stimulating and enjoyable, and I think people really get a kick out of them. We get not only Kinlawn residents, but we also get out-of-town residents. And most of the out-of-town residents that we get say that my library has nothing like this. There's no comparison to it. They're really, really happy with what's going on with the library. That, I believe, is it for my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. And we will talk about the noise ordinance at our next workshop.
Okay.
We go over that, and CLL, there's not enough good things to say about them. They're really amazing, and it's a well-oiled machine. It really is. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to utilities and technology. Councilman Charles.
Thank you. Great news. Last Friday, the 13th of all dates, the county came and erected the 100-foot monopole over at Denise Drive water tank. It is up. Their goal is by the end of this month, to have, working with KPD, Northeast Communications, and with Motorola, the migration of the antennas off the Denise Drive water tank over to this new 100-foot monopole, which would be a significant improvement on reach of all the emergency communications within the borough of Canada. It's a big deal. They're very excited about it. So it was delivered on Thursday. In one day, they erected it on Friday the 13th. Now, by the goal the next 2 weeks is to have all the antennas migrated over to it, new antennas installed on it, calibrated and up and running. And they're working with KPD on this coordination. So, and again, that was a county project. The borough had no money involved in this. Ongoing, Denise Drive water tank. The engineers are reviewing the shop drawings of the new water tank. The storage tank calculations and drawings were approved for the temporary tank. That construction is slated to begin in March with delivery and setup of the temporary hydro pneumatic tank on Powderhorn Drive. That'll be the temporary water system that has to be approved by DEP up and running before the state will grant the approval to take down the existing water tank and replace it. Ongoing, municipal building and library, the HVAC heating and cooling. The borough engineer has submitted the shop drawings and blueprints to Roxbury Engineering. They're reviewing them now. These are the project engineers whom will coordinate with the installer, Reiner, to complete the installation of the new HVAC systems in both the library and the municipal building. By the way, Reiner did complete the installation of both boilers in both buildings. So these buildings, within the next several months, will have all new boilers, energy efficient, purchased through $340,000 worth of grants. Only cost the borough $60,000, taxpayers. And we'll have all new high-vac HVAC for both buildings, and we'll be working on that grant. Water meters, they were included within the bond. We'll begin to move forward with that as we get the other work done. And again, we're going to be working either through the New Jersey Buying Group, Rio Supply, or the Morris County Co-op for the new wireless water meters, which will allow DPW to go through, record it through a vehicle, or they can be recorded online upstairs. That's a big improvement. They won't have to go knock on doors and get in basements. Finally, we met Monday on the 16th. The borough water engineer, the contractor, DPW. We met with the adjacent resident on the right-of-way to go over the borough project to extend the utilities from Butler up to the Emergency Community Senior Center. So that went very well. The next step will be to meet with all the residents there, so we can bring them up to date on this project and what it means. We want them, we owe them that. They need to know what's going on. And the contractor has placed the order already for the manhole covers because of supply chain issues and the pipes. They've been ordered. So again, we're looking to get that going hopefully sometime probably mid-March. That's it for utilities.
Okay, real quick, a quick question with utilities. You were mentioning March for Denise.
Yes, we have to file the extension too.
So in March, they'll be possibly putting in a new tank just to have it in place to take down the old tank, correct?
Yeah, it has, that'll be the, yeah, correct. That's the new water, the drinking water supply.
So they'll be putting in a portable, let's say a portable tank to be able to drain that one, take
Yes.
that down. But what, a game plan or thought on how long you think from March till they actually start the project?
I can't answer that.
You don't know.
That's being done right now, being drawn up.
So March would be the start of it, which would be,
And the completion, probably as they get through with where they are with the new temporary water tank, the project group will be able to come back, put the timelines together. But we're looking, probably towards the end of this year to have this all done. So it'll be a 225,000 gallon stainless steel American-made tank, replacing a 27-year lifespan non-American tank.
and no interruption of water supply.
And no interruption of water supply certified, because this all has to be approved, as the mayor's getting to. All this has to be approved by DEP. We just don't do this. This is a step-by-step process.
And so, and then moving forward, is there anything going on top of the water tank?
No, everything will be migrated over to the new monopole. The neat part is all the sensors will be on this water tank, so they'll be able to read it from DPW upstairs. They'll be able to monitor this electronically. It's pretty neat right now. Right now, it's not. They have to go over there and they're constantly checking it, the water engineers.
I have a question, Councilman Charles. During the time when the temporary tank is there, are there going to be water restrictions? Are people going to be able to water the grass? Is there enough water and it's replenished quick enough?
I can't answer that right now. That will come through the project managers, and that will be one of the questions that this DEP is going to require. Just what the capacity is, what are we going to be able to sustain? Because if we have another drought coming up, and I know that's where you're getting at, we have another drought, well, there's a whole nother issue. Because we're going to have far limited water available.
Councilman, I also have a question. Do you know the capacity of this temporary tank by any chance?
No.
I mean, it really has to be fit on the property and everything else.
Well, the DEP approves it. They have a formula. It
Yeah,
is all
it's
approved by DEP.
it's all formulated versus the house.
Yeah, they have it all set up. And plus, we have, remember, we also have this backup, is facing Lakes Water Company too. So all that plumbing has to be worked into it. This is not, it's not an easy ordeal. This is quite a bit of engineering that has to be done. And it was interesting, on a side note, we went up to look at the monopole on Monday, Charlie and myself, and lo and behold, who's out there with an electronic meter checking for pipes was Verizon. They have underground telecommunication piping all under those roads up there. And guess what? They weren't sure where the pipes were.
Oh, boy.
And they were marking it and spray painting the road. And so it's going to be interesting. There's a lot involved in this. But we're very excited that it's moving forward. And the big deal was now getting this antenna up there, migrating all the arrays, which will greatly improve all the receptivity here. Should fill a big vacuum in the county.
Yeah, I mean, you did a lot of work.
We did a lot of work. We had a great attorney who did a lot of work on this, but we had a last minute lawsuit we had to deal with. But as we get the project from Crew and from Fisher, the tank company, we'll have a project schedule with timelines, milestones in place that have to be met. And the DEP monitors it step by step. This is not done by us, there's a group effort on this, because it's a big deal. And,
Well, you're a big part of it, thank you.
well, everybody's worked at it, everybody's been great on this. I'm not trying to say everybody's been great.
You
It's
did.
been a lot of work.
You've done the most, so take the compliment.
Well, Andy, thank you. Be happy when it's done in the water, and we can, move on to refurbishing the hot tub for Councilman Russo's house, or for that big water tank over Ron McKinley's. But that's a 100-year tank. Stainless steel, you gotta see that thing, it's a battleship. It's beautiful. It's time to be refurbished. It's time we want to catch up on that. Pardon me?
But not replaced.
Not replaced, thank God.
Councilman, I have one comment, if I may, Mayor, in regards to the monopole. I happened to speak with Chief Napolitano recently, and the police department is very concerned that when the repeaters and other equipment get emergency communication equipment get transferred over from the existing tank to the new monopole, that is coordinated with the Northeast, is that they know and Northeast knows.
Well, you're a dollar late. Met with the chief on Friday, and he's already been in contact with Norwell Engineering.
Well, this is a
They're
conversation-
working on it.
This is a conversation I had today, so I
Yes,
just want
well,
to bring it to
I
your
met with them,
attention.
and we're already working on it.
Very good.
Yeah,
Good,
so
thank you.
it's okay, it's done.
Thank you.
Regarding the utilities, two things underway. Tonight on the consent agenda, you see a resolution for the council to approve Mel Cipher GIF security. That, just so everybody knows what that is, the borough and all its insurance programs, every municipality has different types of insurance. And in that insurance, guess what's included? The deductible. The borough's deductible for cybersecurity, because it's intensifying now with everything going on in the world and on the national level. Our deductible within the GIF has increased significantly. Right now, we are at $100,000 deductible. We just completed the Tier 1 accreditation process. Thank you, Charlie, and everybody in the borough who worked through this, took the test. We met it, and we were certified. So we are now Tier 1. That is reducing our deductible from $100,000 to $85,000. We're starting a process now to be approved and certified for Tier 2, and then Tier 3, which will reduce the borough's deductible for cybersecurity, any problems, down to $25,000. The reason for a little bit of delay on this is we switched insurers at the end of 2022. So we had to pick up again, and we've now completed it. And thank you, Charlie, it's safe, the borough has been certified for Tier 1. So that starts the process. That's a big deal. And now we move towards Tier 2 and Tier 3. And that will help us, hopefully we will not have to go through another cyber hacking experience we went through 2.5, 3 years ago. The other final issue, Mayor, has been concerning the upgrading and replacing of the telephones in the Borough Hall. These are the original, everything here has been original, and we're replacing it. We're going to look to this year to work and replace the telephone system and the digital wiring throughout all 3 buildings. And that's our goal for that, is to get that done, because that's been a nuisance on everybody. And that's my report for technology. And a big call out, James Dorkowski, I tell you, boy, he did a hell of a job on their contract with Optimum. That was a bear. It was a bear. But we're still one of the few communities, we have 5G all throughout the borough. Now the issue is how to go get it. And everybody gets the final cost for that. So again, we accomplished 3 big projects in the last month with technology now, we start the telephones. That's already good.
Thank you, Councilman. Move on to open space, Councilman Yago.
Thank you, Mayor. The new SOSAC committee has not met yet. They'll be meeting next week, so I really have nothing on open space. But I did want to take this opportunity to mention something disheartening that I saw on Facebook recently. It's funny how you can tell a story in a lot of different ways, and the way you tell a story kind of sets a narrative or sets kind of a mood, or it can look sinister or it can look like there's nothing going on. So I'm going to read this. This is from Sean Michael Mabey. This is going on this week in Kinnelon. It is so disturbing to know that 4 current councilmen decided to hold a special meeting 3 days before the new year when the mayor and I are not able to attend, which they know this. This is a total lack of transparency, and more disturbing is they refuse to wait so that the newly elected councilman can be involved. There is nothing special or urgent about this meeting, except they wanted to push through roughly $1 million in spending before the new councilmen are sworn in. They know the new councilmen will have questions, but they refuse to answer their questions. I urge you to attend this special meeting, 12/28, 8 p.m. Municipal Building. Ask, what is so urgent and special? Now that sounds kind of sinister, right? That sounds like we're having some kind of special meeting, not letting anybody know. And I just want to make it clear, we had a snow meeting. We had a meeting that was canceled because of a snowstorm. This was a makeup meeting. All this was just a year-end voting on things that we've been working on. One of them, the $1 million, I assume, is the air conditioning and HVAC for the Borough Hall. That's been in the works for 2.5, 3 years. So it's funny how you can tell a story and not give all the information and make it look sinister. And I find this just very, very sad, and that somebody would go on Facebook. If you have an issue, come to the council meeting and say it in the council meeting. Don't go on Facebook and social media and start these rumors and not give all the information. And that's all I have.
Okay.
Councilman, I have a real quick question. Would you care to comment on the Lake Reality, open space, the ongoing dam project? Was there anything you'd care to share about that? We covered that at the last working session, and that's sort of in your bailiwick, I think, with open space.
You know, it's still in the process of being worked out. They didn't have any commitments, any firm commitments. They had a few commitments. Lake Reality is still trying to get commitments out of their residents to save their lake, to put up a new dam. They did come, they just wanted to give us an update that they're still working on it, but I think they're still pretty far from it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to Recreation and Public Works. Council President Mabey.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in retort, I stand by 1,000% my Facebook post. After serving as a councilman for over 2 years with Councilman Yago, Councilman Charles, and Councilman Russo, I stand by that. There's been many times throughout my service as a councilman that I've been kept in the dark, that they've done things behind closed doors. So my Facebook post was just a community message out to the people. There really, realistically, was nothing special about that meeting, and that's about all I'll have to say about that.
Councilman, can you enumerate?
No, I'm going to finish my report. It's my report.
Enumerate some of the
No,
stuff that we
it's my
did
report.
behind closed doors.
It's my report. It's my report.
Well, make part of your report an enumeration of what we've done behind closed doors.
Most recently, to answer your question, there was a meeting with Roxbury, and Councilman Charles and I had asked to be on that meeting, basically tried to keep me off that meeting. And if it was not for one of the municipal workers calling me on the phone to engage me in that meeting, I would have never been able to talk to Roxbury about the program coming, which is the meeting that they held that I posted about. So that is the type of stuff that has gone on, and that's all I have to say about that, because that's factual. It's factual and true. No, it's
pure
true.
fabrication.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
it's not fabrication.
Sean,
You were at the meeting.
Sean, your report, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start with DPW. yesterday, Charlie, John Whitehead, Joe Niosi, and myself met with Bloomingdale to explore and engage in shared services with recycling. Recycling, we're facing a huge challenge, just like every municipality around the state. We're looking at roughly about 120% increase. And one of the things I decided to do was reach out to Bloomingdale, because I know Bloomingdale is a shared service borough. We already share different services with them. So we had a very productive meeting with them, asked a lot of questions about the possibilities, what they offer, what they engage in. So at the end of the meeting, they're going to get back to us with some kind of proposal, estimate of what they'd be able to do for us. That's one of the areas that we're engaging in, trying to save money with the guards in regards to the massive increase in cost in the garbage. The other one is we're exploring right now possibly doing an addendum to our existing recycling bid, and the borough take over the tipping fees. With my conversation with John Whitehead, he felt that if we did an addendum to that, that is something else we could look at. I believe that there's a good possibility that if we take the tipping fees on and not allow our current supplier, Roselli and Suburban, to pay the tipping fees for the recycling, based over a year period, I honestly believe that there's savings there within the borough. Also, prior to the first of the year, I had an excellent meeting with paving systems, and John Whitehead and Joe Niosi from the DPW. This is a micro-surfacing program. As everyone knows, everything is skyrocketing and going through the roof. And resurfacing of our roads in the borough is something that has skyrocketed with the cost of petroleum and just actually putting it in place. So microsurfacing is done all over the country, but a lot out through New Jersey. It is done out through the highways for the DOT. We have local municipalities, Sparta, Hardiston, Jefferson, and Rockaway, that administer this program. It's 1/3 of the cost of pavement, and this is something that we're going to further explore to not only help cut the cost now, but set in place a more long-term vision, how we can maintain our roads longer for less money without having to come in and mill and resurface, because ultimately a lot of our roads are at their extent where you will not be able to cap them again, and you will have to come in and mill, and the cost will be 50-60% more by the time that comes. We've been very fortunate with the winter so far. We haven't had to use very much salt. We've only had the one storm in December, so we still have a long ways to go, so we'll see how that goes with the increased cost in salt. Hopefully we can get through without having to buy too much more. Recreation, got a big list here. New Jersey Devils Kittleon night is sold out. We're excited to see a great game as a community and also take a shot at the net from the blue line. We have record numbers in all winter programs. All programs are in full swing. We have 32 teams and 3rd through 12th grade, through 3rd and 12th grade. Nearly 100 basketball boot camp participants, close to 60 wrestlers, 3 girls included, and 40+ junior Colt clinics. We have 6 competitive travel basketball teams competing in addition and playing recreation hoops. Gym time is extremely tight as these programs continue to grow. The KHS girls varsity basketball team is holding a clinic for the junior girls players on Sunday, February 5th. Another effort at bridging the Kinnelon High School and youth programs together. We are all set with Butler Electric to send the military banner program information. Both registration and sponsor forms will be sent out to the homes in the next electric bill in February. This is a program that I spearheaded and put in place. We announced it at the Veterans Day back in November. I am basically raising the money for the first 30 banners. If anyone knows neighbors, friends, family, Kinnelon residents that have served or are currently serving, we are going to set a military banner program up that we line Kinnelon Road with to honor those who have served our country. The banners will basically fly between a rough time frame of Memorial Day to June sometime, and then they will come back out prior to Veterans Day and stay out for a period of time at that point. Right now, we're looking to have this order in by the end of February, the latest the first week of March. We have a good list of veterans inside the community. We just need to direct everybody, if they know anybody or have a loved one. The link is on the borough website. It's very clear. You can find it. Click on that, and the link is pretty much self-explanatory. And obviously, if there's any questions, the literature that's going to come in your electric bill, just refer to that, and you can send an email, and myself or Ellen or Melanie will help you out with that. I think that's something really great for Kinnelon. Also, something I helped move forward, a committee has been formed that will meet on February 1st to discuss a memorial event for Kevin Hurt. Mr. Hurt was a beloved volunteer football coach, basketball coach, and a long-time gymnasium coach, beloved through the community. If you were at his funeral, you would have seen so many of his young athletes that he had coached over the years show up to pay respect to him, and I think it's something very important to do. I think memorials and ball fields should be named after people that had devoted and donated their time and really touched so much of the young people's lives in the community. And I think this would be a great thing. Lacrosse registration is now open. All other spring sports registration will open up in the next 2 weeks. Lastly, the mayor touched on this. The Kinnelon youth football teams that won the Mayor's Cup and Super Bowl champions will attend the February 16th mayor and council meeting to be recognized. And lastly, we had to postpone our meeting today, but last year I helped set in motion a long-term savings for Kinnelon for the Booton Avenue field. It is currently on a holding tank that has to get pumped weekly out through the course of the year. We spend a lot of money pumping this tank, so I helped navigate and get a engineer's design done, and recently have had it approved. We are going to meet next week to try to set dates to actually install a septic system at the Booton Avenue field, which rough numbers, within 3 or 4 years, the amount of money it's going to cost for the borough to put a field in In 3 or 4 years, we're going to be saving that money. So from then on, it becomes a long-term savings. I will be working with the DPW, overseeing this, and quite frankly, donating a lot of my time and machine time to do this at no charge. This is something that I am willing to give the borough because I had looked at it and I thought it was something that needed to be done, and fortunately enough, it's something I can do. And that's pretty much it for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. And thank you, Sean, for all that work you do for the veterans. It's really, it's been just a pleasure to be at all those events, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to personnel, Councilman Harris.
Hello, I'm the chair of the Personnel Committee, and the other members of the committee are Councilman Mabey, Councilman Chirdo. Councilman Mabey, because he's been on council for the last 2 years, is familiar with the personnel that are part of the borough. And however, Councilman Chirdo and myself have had to go around and introduce ourselves to the various departments and individuals that make up the borough's workforce. And we were very pleased to meet them, to listen to everything they had to say. We talked to them about their jobs, what they did for the borough, and there seems to be no shortage of things to do for each individual. Everyone is doing double duty, and so there is no one that's not pulling their weight here at the borough. I got to speak with Chief Napolitano and listen to some of the concerns that the police department has. We are going to be, the major undertaking of the Personnel Committee will be the negotiation of the contract for the police department. We're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to meeting, actually sitting down in person with representatives from the police department and going over the contracts and finding something that will work for both sides of the administration and the police personnel. And that is pretty much it for me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to open it to the public, hearing from the public. Is there anybody from the public like to be heard? Please come up, state your name, address, and be heard.
Good evening.
Evening.
Jack Glazer, 68 Green Hill Road. I've been a resident here in Kinnelon for 45 years. Been very active in many organizations within the community of Kinnelon. Most recently, and my most active involvement now in Kinnelon is with the Board of Health. I've been a member of the Board of Health for 25 years, the last 20 as the chairman, and I have to say I was very disappointed to hear that our attorney is no longer going to be used, continued here in Kinnelon, Ed Buzak. I've had 25 years of experience with Ed Buzak as a member of the Board of Health. He's been extraordinarily helpful, provided excellent service, and excellent counsel. And quite frankly, I can't understand why you wouldn't want to continue him if you didn't have the same service that I got on the Board of Health, which I would find surprising if that was the case, because he's got an extraordinary reputation in the state of New Jersey. He's serviced a lot of municipalities. He's got extraordinary experience, and I thought he was wonderful and very helpful to the town of Kinnelon. Is there a reason why you're not continuing, Mr. Buzak?
Yes. I told at the last meeting that I felt that he was semi-retired. He's down now to 2 towns out of all of his business. He did his, all of our meetings this year via Zoom. Did not show up at our general council meetings on Thursdays, and I was just not happy with his response time if I had questions for him, so I moved forward with a different selection.
So he indicated he wanted to reduce his workload and implied to you or said to you that it might include Kinlaw?
What do you, I don't know what that means.
Was he indicating that he was soon to retire, including his business here in Kinlaw?
Correct. Not his business in Kinnelon, but semi-retired, moving forward with his practice.
Well, he's a big loss, I have to say, it's my personal experience with him, and I'm very disappointed to hear it, and I certainly hope our new attorney can fill his shoes, because it's a large set of shoes, and I don't know if you knew Mr. Buzak. I assume you did, or do. He was a wonderful attorney and a wonderful person. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Barbara Hale. I live at 37 Payson Lakes Road. I wasn't planning on talking tonight, but it's disturbing. I lived here a long time, but I worked in New Brunswick, so I feel like I didn't live here at all until about the last 3 years. I was here at 8:05 because the meeting is listed as being at 8. When I have come to some previous meetings, I've heard about things that I found either interesting or disturbing, tried to read about them, and found there aren't minutes for many committees for this, so I can't even learn things. Or when there are minutes, they're basically lists of what was passed with only a number. So it doesn't tell you anything about what the discussion was. We have these lit signs that tell us things in front of the building. Frankly, I don't like lights. It's one of the reasons I moved to Kinnelon. And if you don't happen to go past it, you don't even know what's happening here. I don't know if we need to do a newsletter that people not on the council do in response to what's going on in all the different committees. I don't know if we need to seek and tap into or a private newspaper. I still get my newspaper from my hometown. I can tell you more about what's happening in the town I grew up in that I moved from 25 years ago than I can tell you about what's going on right where I live. And when I hear conversations about postings and things being discussed off the record and behind doors, I don't, I have met many of you, but I don't actually know any of you, know you. And I just find that incredibly disturbing. I find a lot of things here tonight incredibly disturbing. And you can hear my voice is shaking because I was not planning on getting up. But I find myself disturbed. And I will be honest, I'm suddenly noticing you're all men. Why is there not, isn't the town, I'm assuming the town is somewhere between 45 and 55% adult women because that's kind of the demographics of the world. Where are the women? Didn't even have to answer it. I am very discouraged.
Every woman in Kinnelon has the right to run.
I understand that, but what's being encouraged? So my main point
I
is,
can tell you.
I feel like I don't know what's
going.
going on, even though I've tried since I've been not commuting anymore. I don't want to claim I'm trying the hardest of anybody in town, not by a long shot. But it's very difficult to figure out what's going on. I'm not a fan of the stupid thing at the field on Boonton Avenue, not the one by Wykert, but the other one. Yeah, so, and I just can't find this stuff out. So, not even asking for an answer, just talking.
Would anybody else from the public like to be heard? Okay, hearing none. Well, you know, I'm just trying to swallow this thing that a woman is never on this council. This council would welcome a woman up here. I think we need one right now, but we've asked women, a lot of them, unfortunately, have, the people that I've asked are too busy. And a bunch of guys that I've asked to run and throw their hat in the ring, too busy. So, Carol Spenti served for years. Lord, yeah, Mrs. Corelli, I replaced him when I first came on. I mean, it's not that this council does not welcome a woman. We would love to have them. They just need to run. And that's it. I don't want people to think that we don't want a woman up here, because I think everybody up here has a woman that is very capable of running. We've all asked them and reached out, so. But I do understand what you're saying. I know your point, but thank you. All right, so we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Payment of bills.
Oh, geez, yeah, payment of the bills for January 19, 2023. So I need a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Okay, I need a roll call, please.
Councilman Yager?
Yes.
Councilman Shara?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now the consent agenda. We have Resolution 13423, adoption of the MELS cybersecurity, which Councilman Charles talked about. So I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilman Yager?
Yes.
Councilman Shara?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Thank you. New business, we have ordinance number 1-23. It's an ordinance amending Article 1, Section 119-1, Recreation Fields of Chapter 119, fees of Chapter 119, fees of the Kinnelon Borough Code. I need a motion to introduce.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I need a roll call, please.
Councilman Yager?
Yes.
Councilman Shara?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Thank you. Whereas the above ordinance was introduced at this meeting held on January 19, 2023, and read by title and passed on first reading, now therefore be resolved that at the regular meeting to be held on February 16, 2023, at 7 p.m. prevailing time at the Kinnelon Municipal Building, this council further considers for second reading and final passage of the said ordinance. This ordinance will now be online, correct, Karen?
Yes.
Um,
No. We don't have a spot yet on the website for introduced ordinances. We're working on it.
Okay, so if
It will
anybody
be
needs,
available on the counter, it will be available on the bulletin board.
okay, so if anybody needs a copy of this, any of these ordinances, they can reach out to the Borough Hall and we'll send them a copy. And be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk of this borough is hereby directed to publish proper notice thereof. Okay, now we have ordinance number 2-23, an ordinance amending Article 5, 5 or 10?
5.
Five. Departments, boards, and commissions of Chapter 4, Administrative Organizations, and Chapter 123, Fire Prevention of the Borough of Kinnelon Code. Motion to introduce.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. I need a roll call, please.
Councilman Yago?
Yes.
Councilman Shara?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Thank you. Whereas the above ordinance was introduced at this meeting held on January 19, 2023, and read by title and passed on the first reading. Now therefore be resolved that at the regular meeting to be held on February 16, 2023 at 7 p.m. prevailing time at the Kinnelon Municipal Building, this council will further consider a second reading and final passage on this said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk of this borough is hereby directed to publish proper notice of, and make sure that anybody calls or anybody needs a copy of this ordinance, they'll get it. I added that little part in the end. So thank you, Karen. All right, now we need the tax collector's report and investment officer's report.
During the month of December 2022, the tax collector's office processed a total of $369,800 $1,000.18. Investment, a total of $31,052.47 was earned in interest for the month of December 2022.
Thank you for your report, Karen. District school payment of $3,321,495.67. I need a motion to pay across the street.
So moved.
Second.
Second, and your roll call?
Councilman Yarborough?
Yes.
Councilman Sharrow?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Thank you.
There is a point, I don't know why we have to vote for that separately, it's already in the bills.
Yes,
It is. It is. We can take it off.
I think it's just fun watching me try to throw out the numbers.
So the residents to know the
Yeah, $3 million.
Well, actually, that's a good point.
The
I
residents need to know
think
the
the
numbers.
residents need to know the numbers. I
Okay.
think that's a good point.
Or maybe we pull it out either way.
No, just leave it the way it is.
Okay.
Just leave it the way it is, okay?
So I have appointments, we could take them all together. The historical, Carol Kaiser is an alternate. Number 2, James Roselius, Scott Simter, liaison, and those are all for the historical and planning board liaison. The planning board liaison from the Board of Adjustment would be Tim Lockwood. Can I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yarborough?
Yes.
Councilman Sharrow?
Yes.
Councilman Maybe?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Charles?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Okay, that's it for our meeting. Before we adjourn, I would just like to say I'm hoping that this council can get past what's going on and let's start moving forward in a positive direction with a great attitude and keep Kinnelon always in our mind and go Colts. So I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Go Colts.